So it looks like China's going to get their second city. They're going to take over another Korean city, which is going to fall because, I don't know, I guess the world didn't like how Korea was playing the game or something. So yeah, this doesn't really make too much of a difference, but I mean, it'll still be cool, I guess, to see them do this. I think they're going to be able to take it over with the Chinese infantry that they have embarked. They probably could have taken it over last turn, but they've been definitely lagging it behind. And I have been kind of exploring the map, looking at some of the aircrafts that are around, and there are a few atomic bombs I have noticed, especially in the Mayan territory. And we'll go over that, but first let's just make sure that we focus in for a second here. I guess we should also always keep an eye on the Netherlands as they continue to progress, as well as the Indian Navy is planning something. We don't really know what it is. I don't know where they're going for or who they're going for, but the Indian Navy is doing something. And remember, they already have 4 cities, so that's a good start. I mean, you know, it's not a bad start. People are still attacking Babylon. We have Persians now trying to make a second push forward. I will kind of a second push forward. I mean, oh, they've got also 2 bombs. So they might have rebuilt. Remember, I think it was in the last video, we saw a carrier get destroyed by the Babylonian capital. That was pretty bad. Yeah, that was a really bad moment there. Here we go. Here's China's turn. Oh wow, Polynesia. I didn't even realize Polynesia almost just totally stole that away. That would have been pretty funny, because that would have brought them to 4 cities as well. They have 2 very, very, very small colonies in between Arabia and the Netherlands. I mean, that would have been pretty messed up for them. They'd been a pretty tough spot. But anyways, the Koreans are now down to only 1 city, Busan here, which I've been wondering why Byzantium hasn't attacked them. I guess they are not interested in winning the campaign. It doesn't make any sense. We also have Russia and Assyria, and I'm surprised that Assyria is actually trying to make a push forward. So I don't think that Assyria has... Ooh, Williams completed the Manhattan Project. I don't believe Assyria has enough troops to be able to do this. They still need... They need more battleships, that's for sure. They don't have any battleships. They've got 1 that's probably going to get destroyed by Catherine. I think when her turn comes up, she's trying to bring in land units, but of course she's not going to be able to land on the island of Moscow because there's barely any room over here anyways. And if she does, which she might here on the east coast of Moscow, it's probably going to get messed up from all sides. I mean, these crossbowmen are really far behind. I'm wondering why has Russia kept a hold of these crossbowmen for so long? What's been going on there? I don't know. England and Morocco, I believe, are still at war. I think that's why we're seeing a little bit of increase of health and stuff like that. Increase and decrease of health. Do they have any bombs themselves? Well, they've got bombers. They've got no atomic bombs. Let's check on if Washington has any. I've completely forgotten by now the who's built the Manhattan Project or not yet. Since William has got it, I know that William is like on the top 5, I think, in the technology list, I guess I should say. India might have something on these carriers. Still don't know what India's trying to do here. Now, could you imagine, now this is like a scenario that will more than likely not happen, but I have seen it happen. It's a really, really rare thing. Portugal's launched a sneak attack against somebody. It's very, very rare for this to happen, but I have seen when nuclear missiles come into play, which we might not get there because I'm going to end this in about 40 turns. When nuclear missiles come into play, we might definitely see a city get destroyed. Which, if a few nuclear missiles, you drop like 2 or 3 nuclear missiles on a city and it's just going to vanish. You're going to destroy the city completely, obliterate it. That could cause an impact. That would definitely, according to our formula of how we choose victor here, that would definitely cause an impact on the game if it is the right nation. If it's either, Washington or possibly England. Who knows? And Assyria is pushing forward, but they got to instant heal their battleship, it looks like. But that was it. They're going to need a little bit more. They've got a Great War Bomber located inside of their capital, which Russia has no air force at all. Brazil was one of those nations that also could have done a lot more. Now, I know that Brazil, a few videos ago, it must have been like kind of in the middle part of the series, they did attack Austria, but they never were able to do anything with it. They were never able to... I mean, the problem with Austria was, you had to navigate these mountains. Salzburg is in a good defensive spot. Brazil is also very lucky. Now, Vienna, I don't know why Vienna hasn't fallen. I guess it's because the Japanese haven't really been concerned with the Austrians. They were focused on Korea for so long. This really might help the Japanese now. They might be able to attack Vienna. Vienna's a lot more open, I guess, for an attack. Salzburg, no. That's a tough one to take. Now, unless, of course, someone takes the island of Vienna, then launches a few artillery attacks to Salzburg, then maybe something could happen, but not until their capital falls. So I think that was the problem with Brazil this entire time. They were only really able to attack Salzburg. They could have gone after, I guess, Carthage. America's piecing out of their second coalition with Arabia and China. I understand that Brazil doesn't want to go to war with the Ottomans. Nobody really should want to go to war with the Ottomans. I don't even want to get into what went wrong with the Ottomans and their campaign. I mean, I'm not saying that there is a possibility. There can be, especially this late in the game, with the technologies that are available, the units that are out there in the world right now. I mean, some crazy stuff could happen. I could definitely see some crazy stuff happen. Like, you could see a 3-city swing, I would say, in about 10 turns at this point in the game. And it also depends on the AI that they're going after. Like, for instance, Russia right now, I didn't realize how weak they are. They've got, like, no navy, and they're super behind in technology. So, yeah, I mean, they're in a kind of a very tough spot. Yeah, but, I mean, if an AI attacks the right... If an AI attacks... the other, right AI, someone like if the Ottomans were to attack Russia, they'd probably have a lot of success there, especially going after St. Petersburg. Now, I don't know if they'd be able to go after Moscow because they're going to need open borders with somebody. They'd either have open borders. They needed to either have open borders with England or Brazil, which would be an issue because I don't think any of the nations are really feeling friendly right now. You know, there really needs to be a map mode for ideologies. How cool would that have been? That seems like a simple thing to add, is a map mode for ideologies. You know, I think there should be overall more map modes in Civ 5, or I guess I should say for Civ 6 in the future, there should be more map modes. But that'd be really awesome if we had a map mode for just a 3-color map mode. It wouldn't be that hard. I bet you there's a mod for it, actually. Where you just have a map just like this, like the mini-map, and then it just displays 3 colors. You know, blue for freedom, red for order, and I don't know, what's the other color? Green for autocratic? Something? I don't know. So something like that. Seems like a simple mod, but I would really like that because it would explain why some of these people aren't getting open borders. Oh, I apologize. China has 3 cities. I don't know why I totally forgot that Greek city that they took a while back. Now, there are people attacking the Zulu, but mainly the only person that could get here is probably be Venice. Brazil did, in fact, attack Carthage, but they're going to have to... Actually, they might have some success here, maybe. Carthage doesn't have as big of a navy, at least not up north. There's no one really protecting this Mongolian city that Carthage stole away. Now, actually, this was Carthage declaring war on Brazil, I should say that. But they're also at war with the Mayans. Ooh, and the Huns. Jeez, I completely forgot the Huns were even in the game. I'm sorry. Is that me and Huns? I apologize. I completely forgot you guys are still around. And that's not even their capital. Where's the other city the Huns control? I can't even remember. Okay, so we'll do that there. And Siam and Korea have peaced out. Again, order was not passed as the world ideology. Mine doesn't matter. So we've got a new coalition against Brazil. I wonder why Brazil? Byzantium joining in. Now, Brazil's in an interesting spot because they can be attacked by some pretty strong foes, mainly the Ottomans, but it looks like the Ottomans might be trying something new here. They have open borders with Rome, so they probably aren't going to war with Rome. They're trying to get around, but the problem with Rome is look at how good Rome has done. Rome has done really well. They've got a lot of units here. They could easily take over the Huns. I think they could maybe even have some success against Spain. Spain's a little bit more spread out. I would say if I was England, I'd much rather attack Spain than Rome. You'd have to really grind your way through. You'd have to mow them all down. And that would be tough. There we go. We've got Spain and Brazil. Yeah, so Spain and Brazil, I don't think Spain's going to be able to get over this way unless, of course, they get open borders through England and Russia. But that's unlikely. That probably will not happen. Do they have any atomic bombs? No. But the Mayans do. And technically the Mayans could probably drop something from outside here. Maybe somewhere. Possibly. Never figured out what the Indian Navy was doing. They were moving a lot of... maybe they were just using it to protect this city. Maybe they felt vulnerable as the Netherlands continued to gather up a few cities. 3, 4, 5, 6. They've got 6 cities, and they could easily grab 8 by going after Polynesia. They could. Mongolia, Russia have peaced out. Yeah, so I think they're... Okay, so 1 atomic bomb. How many in Warsaw? And 1 in Warsaw as well. So they've got 2. What about the carrier? So they've got 3 instead. Ooh, some movement, some battles have been going on near the Chichen Itza city, I should say, not the Wonder. I'm guessing that was because of the conflict with Songhai, I imagine. Mongolia and Russia have peaced out. Here is the other Hunnic city. I forgot about that. Mongolia and India. All right, so that right there is kind of an interesting one. They have open borders through Siam, which is really crucial, and that means they actually have an opportunity. They're going to sink the privateer, like no doubt. They actually might have some success here, but they've got to bring in more units. This could be an easy 5th city. Now, Mongolia has nothing else, I don't believe. Again, I've been saying that all campaign, and I've been wrong usually. Persia's too far away to make a big impact. Japan might be able to actually really help. The Indians, at least. Japan at 3 cities. Okay, so the Ottomans decided to join in against Mongolia. I think it's very likely that we could see Japan also decide, because they've got all these units here. That might be their plan, their strategy. Okay, we'll have to watch as... I mean, the thing is, they're going to have to fight back a lot of the artillery units. I mean, luckily for Mongolia, they do have a lot of artillery units located in their final city. 3. And then, of course, the bombardment from the city itself. So they'll be able to do a lot of damage. Like, this artillery is probably gone. This submarine is probably gone. Luckily, they did destroy the... No, I think the privateer ran inside. You know, this might be tough, unless, of course, they use the atomic bomb. And you know what? Actually, it is Gandhi himself. He is going to be the Civ to do it. He would be the Civ to do it. But I'm wondering if the AI realizes, maybe he's unable to calculate, wait a second, like if I hit this city, then it will probably go into Japanese territory, which would be an issue, obviously. So he's got a destroyer over here. He's got some submarines, but the submarines don't matter. They've already pretty much destroyed... Well, I mean, Mongolia had nothing in terms of a fleet as it is, so wasn't really too big of a deal there. Zulus are surviving. Surprised the Zulu are surviving. Didn't think that was going to happen. Is Persia going to do anything, or are they going to stick with going after Babylon? They're still trying to go after Babylon. However, they do have an artillery unit landing. The Huns are over here too. I guess I should say a rocket artillery unit, to be more specific. But at the same time, Babylon's been building up some submarines. They have been building up some submarines. And I think Brazil is just trying to chill. Assyria continued to attack Moscow, but nothing happening here. Yeah, no, nothing happening. Korea is still around. Carthage has no navy, so they really can't do anything. Elizabeth has embarked a sneak attack against somebody. All right, I would like to see that. And the Manhattan Project is trying to be built by Washington. Now, who are they going to sneak attack? England has been the beast that has just stayed quiet for several decades. Could we see them finally come out of their sleeping? We might. What's this going on here? Is that the Ottomans after Morocco? Or am I missing something? Maybe. Yeah, that could be. That could be the Ottomans after Morocco. Because I'm pretty sure. No, there's no way. Yeah, it's not America, Morocco. I do think that. I think Morocco and England are still at war. We'll probably check in on all that probably in the next video. Actually, we do need to go over some info addicts. We're pretty much almost at the end of the campaign, so info addicts, we'll do it once now, and then one at the very last video of the series. Brazil is going to continue to attack. They've got to fight through a Carthaginian privateer with actually no help. I guess they could use the Great War Bombers, which I don't know why they're not using more of. They're triplanes that are probably defending, but not by that much, right? Can't really be defending by that much. Oh, look how close India is to already taking the city over. How did they do that? It's probably from this artillery, and maybe from their massive air force that's located in Sparta. That could be it too. They've got 2 melee attacks, and I think it's India that processes next. Byzantium, China. Ooh, no big deal there. Maybe Byzantium has been on Korea's side this entire time, and that's why. Maybe. So you're going to get an artillery attack, possibly the Great War Bombers, or I guess I should say bombers from Sparta. Yeah, you know what? India's going to take this over. If they use the bombers, which they should. And that's been, there you go. Bam, they just took it over. Mongolia's gone. We also have Carthage and China. Ooh. Okay, so we have India now with 5 cities. They might even have a bit of success. I mean, here's the thing about India. They're next to a lot of civs that, I forgot about Byzantium here. I always forget about this part of Byzantium. but that's still not close to China, who they just declared war on. India's located to a lot of one cities, a lot of one civ cities, which means if that they continue to pump out the amount of units, which they should. Mumbai and Delhi both have 28 population. I'm sure they've got a lot of hammers in these cities, a lot of production. They could probably pump out cities very, very fast, units very, very fast. They could probably even buy them. There could be a lot of cities they could grab really fast here, in about 32 turns, maybe. Now they don't have any capitals. They've only taken over 2 cities, which they have also annexed Sparta, which is a big deal. I don't know what mod is causing the AI to annex cities, but usually when an AI takes over a city, they usually keep it as a puppet. I'm thinking it's a mod that's causing them to do it, which I love, because I hate when the AI keeps cities as puppets. Very nice to not see that. Brazil has made a landing. Mongolia now is out of the game, which might mean that we might process a bit faster, possibly. Poor Celts. Poor Celts. They have really had a tough time. They really never were able to rebuild after their coalition. They got a big amount of their naval units destroyed because they sent them out for a fleet, a very dangerous trek out here in the ocean, and I think they just got completely wrecked by a lot of civs that all declared war on them at once. And at that point, they were really never able to rebuild, which is unfortunate. But hey, they're going to get a lot of points too. Jakarta is a capital. But that is it. Yeah, that is it. I don't think I don't think they're, again, no one's going to be able to compete with England. England's too far out ahead. Unless, I think the only one that we could see is maybe India, but they're gonna have to stay at war. And I think they're gonna have to take, I think unfortunately for them, well, look at that. Where did all these units come from? They might have been buying them. Maybe they've been rebuilding, preparing for a second attack. I'm not sure. Korea and Arabia have peaced out. Lots of submarines, but they could still take out pretty much all of Siam, the Siamese Navy, and use the land units to connect from there. That could be a possibility. And that is a capital. Yeah, I'm very excited to look at the info addicts in the next video. I think that, oh dang. Okay, so there it is. Arabia, India, as well as they're going to get help from Persia. So there's kind of a 3-way war going on now, because Persia and Arabia are still at war with Babylon. Then we have Persia declaring war on Arabia. So Babylon's also at war with Arabia. This is going to get pretty crazy. This is going to get really, really messy, especially if atomic bombs are used. Now, why did India send their navy to the north, to Siamese territory? I don't know, but this could really change the pace of the game, because there's 3 cities. There are 3 cities. I don't think that India is going to be able to take over all 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They've got 5 cities now. If they take over all 3, then that would be interesting. They're going to also get the help of Persia, which Persia won't take it. Actually, you know what? They could take over all 3 cities, because Persia won't be taking anything over. They're going to be there for just support. So we might end up seeing an exciting time at the very end of the game, but we'll see. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. We got 30 turns left to go, and I will see you guys next time.